Hello, good afternoon, or good morning if you're smart enough to live somewhere that's not England, i.e. America. But it's a glorious day. It's Friday, and I'm feeling pretty pumped because I've got an adventure ahead of me. We are taking an elite group of JHM members to our first US retreat in Sedona, Arizona, and I'm flying out tomorrow morning from my local airport via Dublin, via Chicago, via Phoenix. It's going to be quite an adventure. By the time I get to Sedona, I will have been awake for 24 hours. So hopefully I'm still awake at that point and we can make something worthwhile of it. We have Caroline Daves. Yeah, hello, Caroline. Good to see you. As soon as you arrive here, can you drop a little message in the chat just so we know it's working and we know that you're here? We feed off your energy. As you can see, we have Simon Clements,
Afternoon, everyone.
graphic designer extraordinaire, and I'm here as well. And the topic for today, as in my glorious banner here, you can see it along the bottom of the screen. It says, how not to look rubbish. How not to look rubbish. I think we'd all get behind that. We don't want to look rubbish, do we? I'm going to start off, Simon, with a few ideas about why it's actually really, really bad to look rubbish and why it demeans and undermines everything else that you're trying to do. So as you're arriving, do us a favor, drop a hello, hi in the comments. We love to have you here. I can see Rita's here. Safe trip, says Rita. Oh, I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. Coralie is actually one of the elite VIPs I'm talking about. Coralie is coming along to our retreat in Arizona. It's starting on Monday, but I'm flying out tomorrow, so we've got a bit of a day on Sunday to travel up to the villa because we rented a villa. I think it meant me at first. No, Coralie, not Caroline. So if you are here, folks, drop us a hello. Say happy Friday in the chat, and it means a lot to us. Both Simon and I thrive on your energy. I've just noticed something, Simon. As the comments come up, it hides our names. Look at that. Nice. Oh. That's a new development. Didn't used to do that, but
people know who we are.
People know who we are. So we're talking today, aren't we, about how not to look rubbish. So inevitably, we're going to be talking design.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you, there's a little bit more than design. There's actually the words that you use within the design. And when I teased some of our groups this morning, I suggested that we're not just going to be talking about the artwork, if you like, the graphical visuals, but the words that people see, the sentiments that people see, the feelings that people get when they come across you for the first time. And to some extent, you can drive those feelings. You can create feelings in people. You can't make people feel a certain way, but you can certainly persuade them to feel in a certain way rather than in a different way. And we talk about useful feelings and useless feelings. If you make them feel that you don't know what you're doing, or you make them feel that this is a right bloody mess, then that's not the kind of feelings that we want our potential ideal clients to feel, is it? Just to actually get your fingers on keyboards and get you going here, give yourselves, I know this is going to be quite a brutal little quest for you, but give yourself a mark out of 10 for what you think your visual branding looks like to a potential client, how it makes them feel. 10 will be brilliant. It makes them feel exactly how I want them to feel. 1 is it's pants and it's going to repel more people than ever. I expect most scores most self scores are going to be somewhere on that scale on it from 1 to 10. Give yourself a score now for how you would rate your own visual branding, your own appearance across social media. Give yourself a score and we'll have a look. Annabella's given herself a 7. That's a nice one. Thank Flip It's Friday, says Infinity Dawn. Happy Fridays, Facebook user. Sarah, good morning from the West Coast. Good to see you too. So Coralie's up to an 8. Yeah, I can't disagree with that, Coralie. People always say it's about an 8. All right, okay. So we've got some fairly bullish scores there, haven't we, Simon?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the one thing to say as well is, everyone's going to be. There's no right or wrong way. For obviously, you don't want to look rubbish. That's the title of this talk we're doing. But at the same time, everyone's going to be different to the way they present themselves and they present their brand.
Don't know who you are, Facebook user. By the way, I have another little banner for you here. If you're showing up as Facebook user, what you might want to do is look at the banner down the bottom here. It says streamyard.com/Facebook. If you go to that link, go to that place, just type in streamyard.com/Facebook. There's a button to press there to give StreamYard permission to interrogate your Facebook profile and show your name, so you do not then appear as a Facebook user. I won't mention that again because I know you're all sick of hearing me do that. I do that every time. But yeah, if you're not appearing as a person, then like that one, then do that. Go to streamyard.com/Facebook. You've always got to back yourself. Haha, yeah, exactly. Of course you have. Well, what I'm going to do, and I promise to do this, is the reason why a visual appearance is important. And I was in two minds today, Simon, whether to share some really awful looking profiles. But I decided not to because, we don't name and shame, of course. There's no shame anyway. But it could get a bit embarrassing now if somebody recognises their profile and here's Jonny slagging it off. So I'm not going to do that. You probably know who you are. But if you have some kind of generic banner with a picture of a forest or something like that, or a sunset, for a start off, you're losing prime real estate. The best analogy I can give you is, let's say you'd spent your last $10,000 on a billboard at the side of the freeway, the side of the motorway. Instead of putting any information about your business on that billboard, you showed a nice picture of a couple dancing through the woods, or a cup of coffee on a nice oak table, right? They're both, by the way, personal profile banners I've seen today, okay? Imagine spending 10 grand on a billboard and doing that. People are going, what's that? That's a nice picture, right? Because that's the impression you're giving people if you do that on your personal profile. Your personal profile banner is like the billboard that's either going to stop people in their tracks, make them go, this person's interesting, or not, right? Now, the other thing about taking the next step, which is putting a bit of information on your banner and, having a go at describing your business on your banner, Simon's going to absolutely resonate with this when I say, if it looks rubbish, if it looks like something a 5-year-old's done, or it looks like, a website from the 1990s when nobody knew what they were doing, then people make an assumption at that point. And this is how judgmental humans are, right? What we assume is the following. We assume that how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And if the first impression people have of you is that banner's rubbish, that looks amateurish, right? That looks really pants. Simon's internet's just fallen over. He'll be back in a minute. But if your banner looks awful, people assume that the rest of your work is going to be suboptimal as well, right? So I'm going to bring the rubbish word in. There's various grades, isn't there? But if your banner looks rubbish, people assume your work's going to be rubbish as well. And that's really sad, isn't it? Because we all know your work isn't rubbish. Your work's fantastic. When you're actually with people, I'm sure you can all hold your hand up and say you get a great result. Okay? People get value for money. They enjoy working with you. But if you're not reflecting that in your visual branding, and particularly banners on social media, then you're letting yourself down, because people are going to look at that and assume that the rest of your work's going to be poor as well. Okay. So we don't want that to happen, do we? Simon's going to come back, I'm sure. So Annabella says, I got 4. Aoife, I know who you are, of course, even though you're a Facebook user at this point. Disrupting from the get-go here at Herpreneur HQ. Yeah, okay. Well, look, while I'm waiting for Simon to get back in the room, I'm going to share a couple of my favourite banners. So, Herpreneur. I'm going to just type this in. I should have had these set up, shouldn't I? I really should have. Didn't. I did not. So, Aoife Tynan. So, Aoife's here. Let me go to your Herpreneur community. Do bear with us here because what can I do this? Okay. Yeah, here you go. So here's an example, of a really appealing banner. Okay. Simon's back. So, okay, yeah, let me share this. And I'll get Simon back in. Yeah, don't know what happened there, Simon. So
Hello.
here's one where the visual branding is spectacular. It grabs your attention, doesn't it? And this is what Aoife's all about. Aoife, as I know, is a very outgoing entrepreneur. She's very disruptive, very innovative in her approach, and she does grab you by the throat. And that banner does that. Simon, now you're back.
Hello.
Just give us a bit of a critique on there. I mean, it's not literally the style that you would do, probably, but what's that doing for you when you look at it from the get-go?
Well, one thing I'll say straight away is, like you say, it certainly grabs attention. And what we're looking at with any kind of brand work is the
pattern disrupt, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's disruption. It's giving you an identity, and it certainly does that. I mean, it's also what I also like with that is it's quite simple in the fact of the messaging. It's you don't need to overcomplicate things. Often people do.
Yeah.
You've got to
so
remember.
we got from this, by the way, an inkling as to who it's for. So these are for mums in business. I know Aoife's working on extensions of that title, just put a little bit more in the name. This is Aoife's Facebook group, by the way, where you can mess around with a headline, with a title. But the banner equally applies, to personal profiles and that sort of stuff. So Mama Means Business is a really nice kind of framing to suggest that if you're a mum and you're in business, then you can move a few steps closer. Herpreneur is Aoife's, very memorable brand. Amazingly, nobody else has come up with that. I think Aoife's actually got herpreneur.com, as a web name, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm just going to unshare this because Simon, you have some others, and what we're going to dive straight into here, guys, is we're going to give you some examples of some nice branding, which is a combination of the graphical visuals and the words, that form part of that. Simon, find me a name that you'd like me to share on here.
I mean, I've worked with quite a few members of JHM community. So the first one I've got
is that you've done, basically.
Amber Rose Cox. I did Amber's probably last year, I think it was.
Nice one.
Unless she's changed it since then, which I hope she
hasn't. She hasn't. So, Amber Rose Cox. So this is an example of your work, Simon, and congrats for that. That looks anything but rubbish, of course. So it contains what are the elements here? Do you think that's important? This is Amber's personal profile, by the way, guys.
Yeah, well, as I say, you mentioned there it's personal profile. The thing is that obviously you've got your personal profile, your group, and obviously if you've got a page as well, and each one is targeted a different audience. So let alone the size that Facebook keeps changing. So being a personal page, it was very important for us, and obviously myself and Amber, we had a consultation, and I wanted to get Amber very visually on there. So she is very much the face behind the business.
Yes.
Being the personal page, we wanted her to be the front and foremost of the banner.
Yes.
But also back up with as you said earlier, the wording, the messaging, so people land on that straight away. It's visually appealing. It tells you what you're getting, really.
Yeah, exactly. So an important sidebar, which by the way, I read the bit that I'm circling around. That bit I read. You probably can't see. Actually, no, you can't see me circling. Sorry. But I read the blue bit on the left before I read the rest of it. And this is a tactic that Simon uses quite a lot, which is, you know, have something that's a contrasting color to the sort of base color, and people are drawn to that. So this is nice because everybody knows now that Amber Rose Scratch provides emotional well-being solutions with authentic connection and empathy. There's a thing down the bottom here. This is what we call a call to action, where it says click here to join my community for emotional well-being. So I'm going to click on that, and guess what? Up here we've got a link to the group, which again is a Simon design banner. So just walk us through this and how this is different in approach, Simon, from the personal profile.
Okay, well, the first way I usually do my process is actually work on the group first, because the group, as I say, you've got different applications for different banners. It's not a one size fits all for all your banners. You know, your group is very much a community. It's very much your messaging, and therefore your visual messaging needs to be something that's showing people that this is a community of people who are looking to get out of it all the same thing. So obviously in here we've got the group name, the Be Your Best You, which on its own makes a pretty strong statement. You know, you want to be the best person you can be. We were very keen to get, you know, the group straight away. It mentions emotional intelligence or emotional well-being quite a lot. Again, that's what Amber does. But not
one thing I notice you're sorry to cut across you, Sam. One thing I notice you're big on as well is trying to give a clue as to the type of people that are part of the community. And you know, you've got a nice blended photo there of you know, a happy-looking middle-aged couple, which gives potential members a clue as to what kind of people are in the group, which is really good. Let's move on, Sam. Let's look at another one. You can give us a little bit more feedback as well. Who else would you like me to look at?
Biljana. If you got Biljana on there.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I do. One of our favourite clients. Isn't that beautiful there? Wow. Transforming trauma through holistic living. Yeah, what I always loved about Biljana, and obviously I know her well because she's a client of ours. What I always liked about Biljana's stuff is how visually appealing it is naturally. And you know, Biljana's a plant-based coach. I'm plant-based too, so I really resonate with this personally. But there's a personal profile. It's an interesting shape, that, isn't it? I don't think that covers the whole width. Was there a reason for that?
Well, I'll just jump in here and say that that's actually the basic assets there are ones that I created, but she's adapted that herself, because obviously I gave her some tools and she's taken the tools off to put it together. So that's not actually the one I did originally. If you go to the group.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the group, which is this one here.
That's been changed slightly as well. It's okay.
Yeah, all right.
The idea was I gave her these visual assets to once we completed the process, not only did
I understand. That's lovely, that is. By the way, as you're watching along here, folks, drop your thoughts in the comments as to how you know, these branding pieces resonate with you, whether you like them, whether you don't like them, what you like, what you don't like. You know, keep your fingers on the keyboards, and let's have some feedback from you, because we thrive on your energy at this point. Give us another name, Simon. Who else?
Chris Hallett.
Ah, yeah. These are all examples, by the way. They're all really interesting examples of, you know, typical people typical people that we work with, because
let me see if I can find,
you know, we've got a cross section here of coaches, holistic practitioners, NLP practitioners, hypnotherapists. If any of you identify with that, then you know, and yeah, so he's changed that. Let's have a look at the group, see if he's completely changed that. So Chris has changed that as well, has he?
Yeah, I think what's worth saying here is that some of these were done quite probably over 12 months ago. So you're always evolving your brand and you're always moving forwards.
Yes.
As I say, I haven't checked these out before. I've got the visuals in front of me for the ones that we did together. It looks like he's completely changed his messaging and everything. So obviously,
we should have come back to you, because you'd have updated them and kept them on brand.
I would have updated them.
There's a lesson there, actually. If you are, you know, if you've got a strong visual identity and you decide to tweak it in some way, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Nobody wants to find you completely unrecognizable, you know, next time they come across you. So, you know, evolution, I think, rather than completely changing everything, is probably a nice idea.
Yeah.
Facebook users, you said Simon did yours as well. Identify yourself. Tell us who you are, and we'll show it
Oh, I
on
mean,
the screen.
I'm keen to know who that is now.
Yeah, Simon did mine as well. Love his work. Who are you? Tell us who you are, and we'll have a look at your thing. Give us another one that you did, perhaps one more recently, if possible.
Is Beth McKinley still in the group? I quite liked her one.
Yeah, she sure is.
Again, I don't know if she's doing real estate now.
Look.
Thinking about it, she's changed a little bit, and she has.
That looks completely changed, doesn't it? Because it doesn't
when
even
she was
fit.
doing her coaching, we obviously worked on. Yeah.
Okay, so here's something interesting, and I promised, wouldn't call anyone out here. We're not calling you out, Beth, but do yourself a favour. That banner doesn't fit. It's very low resolution. It's a bit blurry, and whatever you've said at the bottom is sticking off the bottom of the banner. So there's a lesson here, guys. It is really, really important, isn't it, to to scale them so that these things fit. Have you got another one for us, Simon? Another name spring to mind?
Graham Carter. I did his. If he's again, I'm getting all the visuals that I did.
Okay.
I could share those as well. Because
let's have a look. So there's
it might Graham's be a group one.
Personal profile. So
if he's
I can't remember what Graham's group is called.
He did have one called the Warrior Facebook group. I'm not sure. The Mighty Warrior.
The Mighty Warrior. The chances are it probably hasn't changed this, but let me have a look. What I'm doing here, by the way, guys, it's very raw because I'm doing this on the fly, as you can see here. So we can't find that one. Let me come out of the share. We'll try and find something a little bit more.
And I'll find some for you.
Yeah, find some useful ones. Let me just dive in here then, and I just want to expand on something that you've seen on the screen so far, which is Facebook groups. You've seen people's Facebook groups, and I promised today that what I would do is not only look at the visual stuff. Simon's hopefully lining up a few more interesting visuals, but I'm going to share our group here so that you can get a feel for what Simon's doing in JHM and for JHM. So this is current. This is our current banner. We've had a few iterations of this, and you can see that we're using the real estate effectively here. One of the anchors of our brand is this font that's at the top here. You can see the Jonny S Marketing words. That's a font that I've almost taken as my own. It's called Base 02. I don't know anybody else who's using that font, so it is quite distinctive. And when people see that, hopefully, there's some connection to us as a brand. What we've done on here is a key message, and we found that key messages work well over on the left-hand side. Your eyes tend to gravitate. In the Western world, we read from left to right, don't we? So it's a fair assumption the first thing you're going to see is what's written up on the left. And after lots and lots of research and lots of questions and data collected, we understand that one of the number one things you want to do as a coach or therapist, you want to turn your expertise into an online business, into an actual perfect online business, right? It shows the rocket in me, says Facebook user. Yeah, I'll take that. So it turns your expertise into an online business. So there's a message. There's a key brand message. One of the most important things that we talk about in our world. But I also want to draw your attention to how we've named the group here. And you can see this thing along the bottom, of course. There are 3 elements to it. And I'm going to give you one of our insider secrets that we teach in our Client Attraction Blueprint training. These 3 elements of a Facebook group are, number 1, the catchy title. So Jonny S Marketing is a catchy name, isn't it? That's going to rattle your cage. It's going to make you think, haha, I hate marketing too. Good old Jonny, I hate marketing as well. Yeah. The other part of it, is these 2 elements here. Element number 1, where we say who it's for. And the next element is what you'll get when you get there. And the way we've arranged these words, and we've tweaked this, by the way, over various iterations and evolutions over the years, the way we've arranged this name is that there's various keywords in here which actually help our profile in the search on Facebook. So let's say you go to Facebook and you want to get some tips for marketing for coaches. If you type in those 3 words, marketing for coaches, you can probably see that those 3 words appear in the name of our group. And they actually appear in that order, don't they? Marketing for coaches. If you're a therapist and you type in marketing for therapists, again, those 3 words appear in the name of our group. If you're into the idea of organic and you go organic marketing for coaches, bing, bang, bosh, those names appear, right? Or in the unlikely event that you're going to type client attraction, you might do. Or you might do, organic client strategies for coaches. All that stuff appears in the name of the group, right? So what we've done, we've used the real estate that Facebook has given us to the extent of all the characters we can use in the name of the group. And we've plonked that in there. Can we, as a thought exercise here now, I know you're watching this, and thanks for you all being here today. Let's do a little bit of a workshop. Can you come up with a structure for a name for your group in this form? So tell us what the group's called, then do who it's for and what they might get. I know this is going to take a little bit of your brain power, but see if you can do this in the chat, and we'll display some of the. In fact, we'll display them all when you do it. Come up with a name for your group, an extended name for the group. The extension is as follows: who's it for? Who's it for? And be as blunt as that. For who it's for, right? And then what they'll get when they get there. So, for example, let me just come out. I'll just go back here. So there's a group name that I displayed on the screen a little while back. It's in this other one. I just want to show you one of the groups here, and as a challenge. Right, okay, look. So I'm going to show you a good one here. So this is just going back to you have to excuse me, the share on here is a little bit clunky. It's not as easy as on Zoom, but we've got it now. So the name, by the way, Chris is a client of ours, so he's got this formula from us, if you like. But the name of his group, Stuck to Unstoppable. So whether you like that or not, that's his catchy name, just like our Jonny X Marketing. And then what he said is who it's for and what they'll get when they get there. So helping business owners create unstoppable momentum, right? So the 3 elements there are the name of the group, who it's for, and what they'll get when they get there. Have a play around with that. We haven't got much of you taking this up, but do this a little bit of a workshop here if you can, please. Do a little recital along these lines of a name for your group. You can use the name of it already, and then share who it's for and what they'll get when they get there. See if you can do that in a few words. That would be really, really cool, I think, as a share. Simon, have you got any other examples?
I have. I've not
done a
done
bit of research.
I've not done a presentation.
Give us a name and I'll type it in.
Is it letting me?
No, it's all right. Just tell me the name and I'll share
it. Again, the ones that I got a Matthew Fox.
Oh, it looks like you've done a share.
Yeah, you can do that. So okay, so let's go back to the first slide. There we go. These are the actual ones that I did at the time. So Biljana's one, as you can see, we've got the messaging. She already had the logo in place. So
yeah, brilliant.
I have people come to me that have the logo. Some people have hardly anything, and it's being adaptable to a client's needs, but also what the client's audience needs and what they need to see. So obviously,
fantastic.
As you say, it says very clearly what it is, says who it's for.
Yeah.
Obviously, we wanted a picture of Biljana on there because obviously we want that.
That's brilliant, that, isn't it? That's
you are
brilliant.
the expert.
So I think that one of the key words here is for.
Yes.
Because who is it for, right? And let me just share some other wonderful ones. You're doing some great work here, by the way. Keep these coming. If you just arrived or you didn't hear my little workshop assignment, it is as follows. Write a name for your Facebook group that conforms to this formula. So give it a name and then say who it's for and what they'll get. So engage horse riding confidence community for horse riders of a certain age. Lovely, like that. Sarah, empowered vitality for the ageless women, helping women reclaim their vitality. Yeah, I would say there's a bit of repetition there. You know, we probably wouldn't need to do that. You've repeated the word women and the word vitality. To some extent, I mean, empowered vitality for the ageless woman is enough.
Yeah,
I guess, isn't it?
stands out.
And you could say another few words potentially. But yeah, great one, Sarah. Well done. Come alive, ultimate well-being and longevity of your wildest dreams. Coralie, beautiful, but you're not going to fit all that in. Facebook doesn't give you that many characters, so you would have to make that a bit shorter and more punchy. But you're along the right lines there. That is really, really good.
Some great words and phrases, no?
Great words, yeah. Ditch the diet, get body confident. Again, that's too long, Annabella. That's not going to fit in as a name for your group. So you'd probably say ditch the diet, hyphen, helping women entrepreneurs get body confident without being hungry. That might fit. Something like that.
There's some great words in these. Like you say, they just need trimming for the Facebook purpose.
They're great words indeed. Always love this, the radiant life, reigniting passion for your dreams. Don't forget, who's it for? So replace the word your with some indications to who your is. Keep these coming, by the way. Play around with them on the basis of our feedback if you want to revise them, and we'll redisplay these a little bit later. Simon, who else you got to show us?
Oh, well, we've got Beth's one that I was looking for. I found some of the ones I was looking for. So obviously,
yeah,
when Beth was doing her, again, this was a year or so ago, she was working with ladies who are approaching midlife and how to make it wonderful, really. So we wanted to get that. We wanted to get this kind of very classy feel around it. As you know, Liz is a wonderful woman. She's got this certain vibe about her, and that's what we wanted to capture in this. So we went with the blues and golds. Again, she had the logo, but that's all she had. So we kind of built on that and evolved into more of a creative brand suite.
I mean, it seems to me, you know, what the common thread here is that these are all very beautiful. You know, they're visually appealing, aren't they? So that people are going to look at that thinking, this woman's serious. You know.
Oh, perception's massive with creative.
And don't forget, guys, that there's nothing else that gives you this much bang for your buck. You know, if your banner is, you know, in pieces or it looks like a jumble sale or something like that, or as we said earlier, you know, it looks like you've done it yourself, then you've got to work an awful lot harder with all the rest of your work to recreate a good impression, you know, through posts and stories and things. You've got to work a lot harder, haven't you? And the way I describe it is this is static content. Once you've done it, you can leave it as it is, at least for a bit. You don't have to mess around with it, right? This is called static content. And this can do a lot of the heavy lifting, can't it, Simon? This can really give people the right impression about your brand from day one.
Exactly. You know, like you say, it's that first impression is always massive. Once you've got that, that's going to become a consistent in your marketing mix. So once you've got that, you can do more video content, you can do more branded posts, and like I said in the things that we would learn today is that consistency without repeating yourself. So by giving, for example, on this one, by giving Liz that creative, she's got assets now, so she put some posts out with like the utilize the navy background and the gold and the white, and she mixed it up, but whilst it's still on brand and very luxurious looking.
Brilliant. Give us another one. I'll just we'll talk about this Rebecca Shocker. Hey Rebecca, great to see you. We're going to be talking again in a week or so, I think. Rebecca's group is called Free Your Mind, helping high achievers stay focused on what really matters. That's too long, too many words. But Free Your Mind's nice. So Free Your Mind, helping high. You can drop the level, helping high achievers stay focused when life gets tough. You can probably get away with that. Drop out the on what really matters, because that's not needed, is it? So I'd be going Free Your Mind, helping high achievers focus when life gets tough, or something like that. And that would fit. So yeah, good work. Let's do another one from Alex. Superior communication for executive leaders. I'd actually do a little bit more of alliteration here, but you can go ditch the dilemma and deadlock, can't you? Ditch dilemma and deadlock. So we're going to go superior communication for executive leaders. Ditch dilemma and deadlock. And it kind of fits, doesn't it? I think that's all right. Yeah, okay. I think we've got away with that. Well done. Ditch the diet, strategies for women entrepreneurs. Okay, so what we're going to do here is ditch the diet. Then we're going to go dash women entrepreneurs, release the weight without being hungry. We don't need strategies for, do we? Women entrepreneurs, release the weight without being hungry. And you've cracked it then. Yeah, no worries. So, Simon, talk to us about this one. This is lovely, isn't it? And isn't it interesting? Chris, my dear, love you lots. I don't know if you're watching, but I don't know why you've screwed it all up and made a right bloody mess of it. That's me. I said with the greatest love, right? So what Chris has done is decided to change things because he felt that the message was no longer on point. And literally no judgment here, Chris. We love you to bits. But you've changed it to that, which is nowhere near, I'm sure the rest of us will agree, nowhere near as nice as that, is it? So, Chris, please get back in touch with Simon, because Simon's more than happy to do you an update. Absolutely. Show us another one, Simon.
Well, what I was going to say on this one, just quickly, is obviously we've had all these messages coming in of what people call in the group and stuff like that. And one of the things I did want to touch on today is what to add. I mentioned earlier what to add to your graphics. And one thing you can do on your banners and also for your posts, it's all about the structure. So getting that main point out there, the very first few words or your group name, is a lot bigger. Give that impact. And then you can always flow through with something slightly more wordy and a bit more of an explanation underneath. So it's all about getting that structure and that balance and your composition.
Give us feedback, guys, on these banners as you're watching them.
This is Graham's one. I was thinking.
Yeah, this is lovely, isn't it, from Graham? What happens? It's really interesting. This I've seen this quite a few times. Is we've got permission in our businesses, haven't we, to flex and pivot and move in a slightly different direction. And of course, what's happened a couple of times here, we've got direct evidence here, is that Simon's produced a wonderful banner for a business. The client, if you like, Simon's client, our client, has changed direction and done their own banner. And there's a stark contrast then, isn't there, between what Simon's produced with his professional skills and what they've produced for themselves. And it's such a shame, isn't it, that there's no need to do that, because once you're a client of Simon's, just like when you're a client of mine, you're a client for life. You can go back to Simon and say, hey, you know, can you tweak my banner? Can you make it say this? Can you change some words? Simon's only not going to charge you a lot of money to do that.
It's all part of the process. When I work with people, I always see, I'm always becoming a part of that team, part of your team, moving you forward. So I'm in the back, like as very much like Jonny is, only at the end of a message.
No, it's fantastic. Give us another one, Simon. Let's flip.
I've got the last one, which I found out. I can share more in the group. That's not a problem. This is what I did for Matthew. This was a personal banner, but he ran a summit in 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020. So
yes,
this was
one nice one, that, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was very much, we wanted this one, same with Chris's in a way, again, targeting their audience. He wanted this a bit more of a masculine steer, because he was targeting fathers, dads. I'm not saying we had to go all out blocky text and stuff like that, but this was kind of the balance of getting everything that he wanted in there, quite big lettering, that it's a free summit, getting in there the benefits, it is 10 amazing speakers over 10 days.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's fantastic. I've got to show you guys something, by the way, right here, which is okay. I'm going to go back, and I'm now going to share the one that I wanted to share, which is screen. Here we go. Simon's too modest to show this, but this is Simon's banner. Isn't that lovely?
Personal banner.
That's fantastic, isn't it? I'm actually just going to put in the chat here Simon's Facebook profile link. So it's Simon.Clements39. I've actually just posted that, so you can find Simon from that. Annabella, I strongly suggest you do, or indeed anybody else who wants to do that. Did you have another example, Simon, or shall
I can
we
give you another
leave
example
it
of.
there for today?
I literally grabbed those ones for. That's all I've got from on that, but I can share them. But what I have got is it doesn't let me post in the chat. If I pop you a message in the private chat, that's my my business page, and obviously that gives you a bit more information on me and stuff I've done.
Yeah, drop it in the chat by all means.
Again,
Simon Clements is not hard to find on Facebook, by the way. He's got not a massively common name. There are others, but you can find him, I'm sure. It's simon.clements.39 is his Facebook profile.
Quite sure why to put that on there, the 39, but I didn't know about that. But
I don't know, maybe there's 38 others or something like that.
Yeah,
at least. Well, look, just to wrap up, I just wanted to add to what we've seen today, that the messaging in and around your Facebook banner is really, really important. Simon will do a package for you, which involves three banners. My banners of choice would be your personal profile, which then has some words on it which lead people to your group. And I'm just going to give you a little clue to this based on mine. This is the last sharing that we're going to do. What I'm going to share is my personal profile, which Simon has designed some while ago. I mean, I'm pretty constant with this, pretty consistent. This is my personal profile, right? So instead of a picture of a cow or a field or a sunset or a boat on a river, I'm really intentional on personal profile because I want people to actually go to my group. And, this is a really important thing about your whole social profile. Start treating social media as a business tool, guys. Business tool. Almost forget the social word in the commonly held definition. We're not just here to be social. We're here to make some money, aren't we? We're here to run a business, a commercial enterprise. So if you find me on Facebook, I'm encouraging you to click to join my Facebook group, and there's the link to it. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to another Simon Clements built banner, which is the group. Okay. So Simon is going to do you those two banners, and he's going to make that work for you. So you've got a personal profile that leads people, gives them a breadcrumb trail to your group. The third banner you can do, Simon, is either the business page on Facebook or a LinkedIn profile banner. That would be pretty cool.
I'll go one better as well. I'll even throw in, I do often do, I know not many people use it nowadays, but there's Twitter, there's YouTube, and what we'll do is the creative that we work as the master creative for your group, we'll apply that to all your available channels so you're consistent throughout. And
okay. Fantastic. Well, we've got Caroline and Annabella who are on board already, so watch out for them, Simon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Caroline.
Looks like they're going to be in touch, which is brilliant. Know this, folks. I only ever promote fellow businesses when I've used them myself and I've got direct experience of them. Simon is one of an elite handful of people who have worked with us in the JHM business, which is why I recommend him to you. So, you've got no chance of plying your trade in the JHM group if I don't know you personally, and we haven't endorsed you. So that's what we're doing. We're endorsing Simon right here, of course. But we're doing that because we love you guys. I want you to thrive, and this is so critical. Let's finish up where we started. That if you look rubbish, right? If there is nothing beautiful about the way you appear, and we've given you enough examples today, of beautiful design for you to understand what that means, right? If there's nothing good in how you look and how you show up, then people will assume that how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And if you look amateurish and below par, and there's a confusing message on it, people are going to assume that the rest of your work is also subpar. And that's such a shame, isn't it? Because I know it isn't.
It's not the case.
I know that you guys are all experts, right? So start looking like an expert, and it all starts at day one, how people find you. I think for me, the three key areas, if you've got a Facebook group, that's crucial. Your personal profile, that's critical. If you're on LinkedIn, that's critical too, right? They all have to be congruent, don't they, Simon? Just talk a moment about congruence. How can we make people look like the same business, the same enterprise, wherever people find them?
I think the way you have to look at things, and this goes even beyond, the online space, it's all these things are cogs in your business wheel, and
Yeah,
the thing that's in the middle of them all is your brand and the way you look. That
yeah,
will influence everything you put out there. So what we're looking for is across. If we stick to digital platforms, you want people to land on your pages and know what you are, who you are, and what you're all about. And that doesn't mean you can't adapt things. I've had people say, can I use this like this, or use my logo slightly different, or take the icon out of your logo? Of course you can. You're building a brand suite that you can apply to everything you put out. Because
yeah,
what we want, I know Jonny mentioned it right at the beginning, branding is about making that emotion, making that connection, but also having the clarity that you need for people to see, to know. You
yeah.
don't want people scratching their head about what you do and what you're all about, because that will put them off. People have very short attention spans and will just go somewhere else. So I think the best way, obviously there's so much more we could talk about on this, so I will do a post in the group, maybe do a video on my own if you want me to, just to discuss some more of these things. But yeah, just keep consistent. Make sure things like your fonts, things like your colours have a spectrum that is your brand palette, and don't
Yes,
sway from them. That doesn't mean you
yes,
can't have, a headline font, a body font, and then maybe an accent or feature font. But just that will mix it up and give it enough visual appeal, but it's not too much that it's going to sway from your brand consistency. So
yeah.
those are your brand assets, those are your brand toolkit, and make sure you apply those everything you create.
Brilliant. Guys, I have something else for you. I have some really, really good news. Just this week, we have launched a thing called the Social Cocoon Academy. And if that sounds a bit weird, I'll tell you what it's all about. I will show you it right here. And by the way, there is also some relevance to this screen share, because all this imagery, all this background was designed by Simon Clements. Simon talks about, brand assets. And as I scroll down this page, there's a logo right there, which Simon designed just last week for us, the Social Cocoon Academy. What's in this Social Cocoon Academy is a 3-step course, a really, really simple, rough and ready. It's actually not, it's very well polished, a 3-step course to help you make money from your free Facebook group. And whether or not you're in the CAB or the CAA, this will be a useful extra little bit of insight, because we broke a milestone at the end of last year. The end of 2022, we broke $1 million in revenue purely from the free Facebook group from JHM, right? The group that you're all in and you know very, very well. So I've put together a very simple course. It only costs $397, right? Which is next to nothing. It's about 297 in pounds. There is a link in the chat here, and scrolling on the bottom of the screen, you can just literally type in bit.ly/SCA-23. It's called the Social Cocoon Academy. I'm just going to literally type that in again, actually, because I wanted not to have the HTTPS. You don't have to type that in. I want you to have a look at this page, please. Whether you're in the CAB or not, this will be a pretty useful thing for you guys to go and have a look at. It's called the Social Cocoon Academy, as I say. It's in the chat at the bottom there. And it's this thing here. It is a very simple 3-step course for you to watch through some recorded videos. And there's also some amazing assets. There's a cheat sheet called How to Name Your Facebook Group. We've been talking about that today, haven't we? There's also a thing called How to Design Your Group Banner. And obviously there's some links to Simon in that as well. There's swipe files for how to reach out in direct messages. There's a cheat sheet about pleasing the algorithm. This is a really important thing as well. There's another little ebook about how to never run out of post ideas. And there's a set of templates about doing engagement posts, how to do that. Also in here, if you buy this program today, I will give you a one-to-one session with me, a one-to-one live Zoom call, both walking you through the Social Cocoon Academy and anything else you want to talk about as well. You get all that for $400, right? It's an absolute no-brainer. Jump on it, click the link, and I will see you on the other side. I think that could be a really, really cool thing for you to do right now. I'm just going to try and put this in a banner again. Yes, it is. This is going to be a better banner, folks. Yeah. So if you just type in bit.ly into your browser /SCA-23, that'll take you to the page that you can see on the screen now. And if you want, you're more than welcome to join the Social Cocoon Academy. It's a really simple first step to get involved with us, to help you. And even if you're in the CAB already, it's a great place to be. It's a fantastic program. Really, really simple. It's only $400. So go ahead, jump over there, bit.ly/SCA23. There's a page for you to look at. There's loads and loads of detail about what you'll get in it. If you fancy it and you like the look of being part of our community by being in the Social Cocoon Academy, then we would love to have you. So final words on design, please, Simon. Why is all this important? Why do people need to up their game?
I think it's one of those things. I've already mentioned the words first impression. First impression is very important, but people often think, I'll just make my main point of call this first impression, if it's your Facebook group or whatever, but people will try and find you elsewhere. So second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. impressions, you need to make sure you're consistent. You need to make sure that you're clear on what you do. And I think, people say to me about Canva, they say, you must really hate Canva. Do you know what? It gives you people amazing tools to help create beautiful graphics on their own terms. However, sometimes you do need that kind of state to start with.
And Simon, what I love about working with you as well is that you're not just a designer, but you have a business heart too. So you know what is going to help people get business, and you write some good copy as well. So look, let's leave it there, folks. We've had a great session this afternoon. I hope you've enjoyed it. Give us a yay in the chat if you've pulled something out of this session today, whether it's you're going to be in touch with Simon, whether you've got some ideas to do your own stuff. Give us a yay, give us a bit of enthusiasm just to get some comment boost on this post, because we want to see, we want other people to see this post when it's in the group. If you feel inspired from today, if you've got something useful to take away, give us a yay in the chat. That Social Cocoon Academy that I just showed you, by the way, this thing here, it's $397 at the moment. This is a trial thing. We've just launched it, as I say, this week. It will be going up from there, so there won't be many more opportunities for you to join the Social Cocoon Academy for just $397. That's about £297 at today's exchange rate. So if you want to do that, jump in sharpish and you'll get that. Okay, we've had some great stuff here. We've had some good takeaways, great information to Sarah. First impression is very important. Annabelle's definitely looking. Just do that. The Social Cocoon Academy is really, really important. We get you to the point in 3 simple training videos where you can actually make money from your Facebook group. You can actually make money from your Facebook group. Phil loves it. Phil, it's great to see you here, mate. I haven't seen you before. I want you to heavily consider, please, the Social Cocoon Academy. It's only $397, and it's a great way to get you into our world, if you like. As we've said, Annabella is looking at it too. It's been a revelation to Caroline. There you go. I'll just leave you with these words ringing in your ears, guys. How you do one thing is how you do everything. That's our judgment of you, isn't it, when we see you for the first time? And if your visuals look crap, people assume that the rest of your work is crap as well, which is selling yourself down the river, isn't it? It's such a shame. All right. Thank you so much. And thank you, Simon, for being here.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to see you back on the horse, my old friend. And let's keep it going. I'm off to Arizona in the morning, so wish me well. It'll be 24 hours before I'm actually in the place where I'm staying. So, oh my God. Oh,
An adventure.
Looking forward to my adventure, and we'll see you all next week. Love you lots.